I'm planning on whether I should pre-order Sparking Zero or if I should just buy the game when it comes out on release. Either way, I'm still owning everyone in that game. So today we're going to be looking at Dragon Ball Sparking Zero 10 Things You Need to Know by the GOAT himself, Gameranx. Let's go.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is coming soon, and I'll be honest, we've seen the comments, we know it's the game we haven't talked about enough on Gameranx. So today we're changing that. We're talking about 10 things you need to know about the game before it releases. Starting off at number 10, you gotta know that the Budokai Tenkaichi gameplay is back. The Tenkaichi games on the PS2 were awesome. Everyone has their favorite, but for us, Tenkaichi 3, with its massive roster and deep well of game modes.
Massive roster, guys. That's the most goated thing about a Dragon Ball Z game, is just looking at the character roster and going, oh my gosh, and then changing up the fighting style. My goodness, guys, that is what a video game should look like. You know, and I remember Raging Blast 2 literally had the most versatile of fighting styles. It was so amazing. You could pick like pretty much every type of different character. Now they did have like to do their speed up combo. They did in their Raging Soul combo or whatever. They had like heavy type, standard type, little type, something like that. But even then, everyone had different types of combos, which is just amazing. That is the thing I love.
Tenkaichi 3, with its massive roster and deep well of game modes, just made it awesome. These games in general didn't have the most in-depth and complex combat systems, but what they did have was like a fighting system that actually made it feel like you were in a battle from Dragon Ball, flying all over the place.
Z, yeah. You know, I still gotta play Fighter Z because of that, but that's one thing about Fighter Z. It's not exactly the Dragon Ball Z type of fight. Like Dragon Ball Z fights, they're not on the ground. Like they're literally like in the air everywhere, balls popping. Like, yeah, this is what a Dragon Ball Z fight looks like.
Shoot and blast, destroying the environment. These games captured the essence of the power of Dragon Ball in a way that like a traditional tournament fighter really couldn't. So if you're unaware, the Budokai Tenkaichi series, which isn't actually related to the Budokai series in any way, it was just Atari's way of piggybacking on that game's popularity at the time. In Japan, these games were called Dragon Ball Z Sparking, and that's why this new game is called Sparking Zero. It's reverting the series back to its original Japanese game, which is good because Budokai Tenkaichi is a lot. These games have more in combat with arena fighters, if you're at all familiar with those. You've got a third-person, over-the-shoulder camera and full 360-degree movement. Combat mechanics are more streamlined, so everyone has the same inputs for the most part, but they all have unique abilities.
Oh my gosh, that like, I'm sorry, like the choice of colors and the shaping is just so good. But the movement to the characters, it's like a bit stiff and wonky. People don't want to hear that second part, but that's what I truly feel. Now, look at the aura. The auras and the vibrant colors are just, man, it took me away. It takes me away. Like, look at that purple. That's Raging Soul. Because the sky gets dark and then...
Mechanics.
Well, this is under
Fidelity to the source material is emphasized over game balance sometimes. The most powerful guys in the series are going to be tougher and do more damage than the weaker characters. This isn't like Fighters, where there's some attempt at like making the fighter roster balanced in some way. Like earlier versions of Goku are much weaker than Super Saiyan God Goku. Dr. Wheelo is going to have a bad time against Majin Buu. You get the idea. In some ways, the gameplay feels closer to a sports combat game because it's more about mechanics than a traditional fighter. It's just way more flashy than any sports game. There are so many abilities and systems in this series that's just there because it's cool and it's fun. Like how characters can transform and power up or unleash literally world-destroying attacks that completely change the environment. Everything these games do is to be fun, accessible, and cool as hell. They're games that take some time adjusting to get used to because even if they're close to Arena Fighters in style, they still play very differently from most of those games. But once you get the flow down, there's nothing else quite like them. The old games were so much fun. The next gen ones, not as much. But from everything we've seen of this new entry in the series, it looks like it's sticking closer to those classic older.
What OST is he playing in the back?
Games, while making a few appreciated changes that should hopefully make the combat more fun and dynamic. Now at number 9, the roster. If you're a Dragon Ball head, this is the stuff you want to hear. Tenkaichi 3 has an absurd roster of over 150 fighters, but this game is going to easily top it with a starting lineup of 182 fighters total, counting the pre-order bonus.
Well, okay, they count those as different people, but it's that's coming out. I'm about to react to that. But dude, literally it only has 80 characters because they're counting these as different people, but even then that's so many more characters. Like a game like Fighter Z, that's one thing I've always like, their roster is dog shit. Like their roster is terrible. Like that anyone will say that their roster is just ass because it just has no one. And on top of that, they combined I still haven't gotten good at Fighter Z, and I still don't know how to fully play that game yet, so I'm not going to talk too much about the mechanics. But I'm talking just from an aesthetic, like looking at the characters, like it sucks. Like it's not a Dragon Ball Z game. I'm sorry. That's the best way to put it. A lot of people will hate that, but I mean the fact that you combined GT Goku and Kid Goku from regular Dragon Ball and made them the same character in Fighter Z, it just sucks. Like yes, from a fighting game standpoint, that's pretty good because you only have to buy one character and use one character and master one character, but that still doesn't mean shit.
Top it with a starting lineup of 182 fighters total, counting the pre-order bonus character but not counting the planned DLC characters, which will bring the total playable characters in the game to over 200. This lineup draws from the entire history.
Oh, there's 80 playable characters that we can just play for free. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, we're looking good. This is what a Dragon Ball Z game should look like. And they all mostly have different movesets. Keep the same base, and they all have different types of movesets. This is what a Dragon Ball Z
history of Dragon Ball, bringing in pretty much everybody of significance from Dragon Ball Z, including all their various forms. You can't have a Dragon Ball game without a gobsmacking amount of Gokus, and this game does not disappoint. If our count is correct, there are 17 different Gokus. That's more Gokus than many full fighting game rosters.
Yeah. They're literally made Daima cards. They're already up? No, but they're gonna. I think so. I don't know. They just dropped the DLC. And then something for Dokkan all drop on the same day? Yeah, because Sparking Zero literally comes out on your birthday. And then Daima comes out a day. I think so. I think that's how it works. They literally. That's what I'm saying. They dropped card art for the Daima character, Goku and Vegeta, both Dragon Ball Legends and Dokkan. Daima might be tough, but yeah. Could be doing that just for promotion if it's ass, but it's Dragon Ball. And it's been gone for a while. And Akira. You need to get a PS5, bro. Nah, like it just feels like they don't want to continue it. Like they from that time. Remember when Beast Gohan and Goku fought? After that, when Piccolo waved at the sky saying goodbye to go back to his place, from after picking up Pan, they just stopped. They didn't drop anymore. That's been like March, I think. That's still enough content for another season, bro. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they don't want to continue it because that was March. They have not picked up the manga since March. True. True. Yeah, bro. They just didn't. I don't know, bro. I really don't know. Yeah.
That's as many as in Street Fighter 2 if you count Akuma. And we're not counting fusions here. Just the guys literally called Goku.
Goku.
Well, not Goku Black. He's like a different character kind of. Anyway,
sure.
okay, so
Yeah, we
what
understand.
actually
We understand.
counts as a Goku anymore is open to interpretation. But the point here is that there's a lot of Gokus. They go all the way back to Teen Goku from the original Dragon Ball and bring it full circle with the newest version of Goku with the pre-order DLC, which has Dragon Ball Daima's kid version of the character, which is different from Dragon Ball GT's kid version. Look, I know this series is confusing. I know I had to brush up on a lot of this stuff, but just stick
it's
with
different.
me. For us, the most exciting
like-
thing about this game is the new characters that are showing up. The series originally ended back in 2011, 2 years before Battle of the Gods continued the story, and with Super running for as long as it has, there's like a whole cast of characters showing up here that never appeared in the previous games. The game's cast primarily goes up through the new
like Fighter, it doesn't even have Topo or like Kale and Khalifa. Like they don't have these these things. Like even though okay, they didn't show up that much in the show, they could still add their like just a random fighting style to them. You know? Like that's just one gripe about that game. It's just a roster. It has the for sure everyone has said that it has the worst fighting game roster for sure. I think it does. It does.
new tournament of power in Dragon Ball Super, ending with characters from Super Hero who are showing up as DLC. Say what you will about Super's quality, but many of these guys should make for fun characters to play as. There are some deep cuts here and some surprising additions, but most surprising of all is that the game is going to include a ton of stuff from Dragon Ball GT, which is
Bro, why did they sweat so hard on Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Why did like Super Saiyan 4 Goku looks like I'm sorry, he is the best looking character to me. What? He looks this impact frame. Wow, it's beautiful.
additions, but most surprising of all is that the game is going to include
Like why does
a ton of
oh my gosh, he looks elegant. But see, okay, in this moment, like right here, like this game, right now it looks like Spider-Man Unlimited. I don't know if y'all know that game. That's a very old game, but what they should have done here is they should outline this fur. Oh, here, let me use my mouse so that y'all can see. They should outline all this fur. Outline everything here. Outline all that. Outline the hair. Outline. Don't. Y'all can make these lines lesser lines because it's on the inside. Make these harder lines. All of this harder lines. Harder lines, harder lines. And, dude, there you have it. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here just looks like, it looks like Fortnite, you know?
stuff
I don't
from
know how to
Dragon Ball
explain it.
GT, which is apparently still canon. It's just considered an alternate universe now that Super has become quote unquote the real follow up to Dragon Ball Z. Another verse now that Super Ball GT, which is apparently still canon. It's just considered an alternate universe now that Super has become quote unquote the real follow up to Dragon Ball Z. Another fun surprise is that every bad guy from the Dragon Ball Z movies are in this as well,
Look at
including both.
Oh! Did y'all see the way he comboed Piccolo? Oh! Fire Z could. I'm sorry, bro. Fire Z could never. I gotta play. I gotta get good at that game. I gotta get good at that game. But I'm sorry, like.
The Super and the old versions of Brawly. Seems like they got a lot for every different type of fan, new and old. Is anything missing? No Mercenary Tao and a general lack of original Dragon Ball characters. It's really just Teen Goku and Master Roshi. But with a roster this big and deep, there are acceptable losses, I guess, there.
Yeah.
Next over at number 8, with more and more games going online only with their multiplayer, it's nice to get some kind of confirmation that this game with games going online only with their multiplayer.
The aura has look at the aura. They just need to okay, look, Goku Black with no outlines here looks like like he looks worse than a Fortnite character. Like that's ugly. But look at the aura to God Goku. They matched it. I'm sorry. This game has the best auras I've ever seen. It has the best auras ever. Like for sure. I can look Godbind, Shenron. Oh my gosh. Shenron aura, God Kamehameha, God Impact. Okay, so this game you can use a D-pad to hit freaking combos. Okay.
some kind of confirmation that this game will have split screen, so you and your friends can play together on a single TV if you want. The in-person experience is perfect for these types of games, especially ones that have a lot of pick up and play appeal, but there's one big problem with the split screen that has to be addressed here. According to the developers, while the game does allow you to play together locally on a single screen, you're limited to only one map, the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. You know, the one that's
Nah, that sucks. What? Help with performance. What do y'all think? That's kind of dog shit. That's actually dog shit. Okay. So you could only play locally on one map due to performance? That's pretty ass. That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm sorry. That's terrible. Because I mean, like every other game, we could just play on any other map. Like, why the fuck? What's the problem here? I don't know. That was a kind of a throw off.
screen.
Now, like, yeah. To be fair, like these games, they're just moving on to online and shit like that.
You're limited to only
Still.
one map, the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. You know, the one that's just set in like a big blank white void. It's this training stage of these games. That is weird. That sucks, because half of the fun of these battles is how you can completely destroy everything around you and fly all over the place. Battles can start in one place, then go up
Look
high
at
in
the
the sky,
aura.
then deep underwater,
That's all. They just need to keep
then in
the
the middle
aura.
of a canyon or a city. The expansive stages make this feel like less of a generic fighting game and more like this titanic superhero brawl. You know, the whole reason we talked about why we love this game in the first place and like the first point, the levels and the destructibility are awesome. So it's disappointing to hear that it seems like you can't do any of that playing split screen. This is specific. I know only a small portion of this audience even cares about it, but it's something that was special. Hopefully they update it or patch it and add more levels. I don't know, but I don't want to be stuck with my friends playing in the most boring stage. Next at number 7, it's been over a decade since this series bowed out originally, and at that point, it was becoming pretty obvious that some of its gameplay systems needed some updating. That's what Sparking Zero intends to do. They want to make something that's like the original games, but better. At least that's the plan, and from what we've read, it seems like they're taking some steps in the right direction. For one thing, movement speed has been dramatically increased across the board. So now just like moving around is as fast when you hold down the dash button in the original games. The old dash button is now used for the short dash. A little burst of speed that's just useful for closing distances or avoiding attacks. The other major addition is this new skill counter. As you fight, you earn these points which can be spent to perform special abilities, many which tie into the game's new.
That reminds me of Street Fighter. That skill counter right there. I didn't mention it earlier, but that shit literally reminds me of Street Fighter. Let's just see how good this game is. They should have just made it like Raging Blast 3.
New comeback mechanics. There are 2 abilities that allow for easy reversals if you spend skill count. There's the revenge counter, where you can attack in the middle of an opponent's turn. You still take damage, but you can interrupt a combo string and retaliate with your own. That's nice. Along with the revenge counter, though, there's this super perception, which is basically a command counter in a fighting game. You trigger it before an opponent's attack to trigger an automatic counter move that will avoid damage and give you the upper hand. From all the footage we have seen, Sparking Zero looks like a faster-paced version of the old games, with all the original mechanics still intact, like the sparking system and the Dragon Dash and all that stuff that made those games unique and special. We hope those new changes make for an even better game, but right now, considering that we haven't actually played it, we haven't gotten our hands on the game, we can't say how it'll play. We don't know how it'll shake out, but keep your eyes peeled for more videos. Next at number 6, you need to know that there is no character creator. If you want that, you'll have to stick with the Xenoverse games. But there is a customization menu where you can change out costumes and add accessories to the fighter. So yes, on top of having 180-ish or more characters, this game also has multiple different costumes per character. In the example given, they show Goku in many states of undress. Can these costumes carry over between different versions of a character? I don't know, and we're not sure how you unlock them. All we know is that they're in the game, so every permutation of a character that appears in the story mode is available to play as if you want. One interesting additional little bit of info that we found on the game's beginner guide on the website, along with full outfits and some little accessories like a halo or a scouter, you can give fighters ability capsules that enhance their stats in some way. This is a holdover from the old games, but we're not sure how it's going to work in this one.
Oh, kind of like how in Raging Blast, you could do that shit too. Yeah, I remember that.
Some way.
Yeah.
This is a holdover from the old games, but we're not sure how it's going to work in this one. They sound like something that could easily be turned into some kind of annoying pay-to-win item sold for real cash. But so far, it seems like this game is committed to the old school style. So hopefully, this is just an in-game item that you can only get as a reward from playing the game. Next, over at number 5, the story mode of Sparking Zero is called Episode Battle, and in it, you play through the defining fights of the Dragon Ball series by playing through a specific character's story. And for this, there are 8 characters total. Half are what you'd expect. There's Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, but the other 4 are a little different, letting you play as Future Trunks, Frieza, Goku Black, and Jiren.
So you can
rather
play,
than just being a straightforward story mode, these episodes give you choices that affect the outcome of the story. So when playing as Goku, you can decide to go it alone against Raditz, which then changes what happens next. Sometimes these stories can apparently lead to different encounters and send the stories spiraling in different directions, but sometimes they just lead back to the original path, making a small change but not really affecting things. There are obvious choices you can make between battles, but sometimes things change depending on how you resolve a fight. Like if the character you're playing as wins a battle they're meant to lose, that can change things by quite a lot. There are other more hidden triggers as well, which are even harder to figure out. Because I mean, at this point, we've all seen the story of Dragon Ball Z play out 100 times already in 100 different video games, so we appreciate that this game lets us possibly do some things a little bit different. Also, it's worth noting, it seems like the scenarios are going to be varied in length, you know, depending on a character. Like obviously Goku's around the longest, so his is going to take a while.
Yeah.
Now over at number...
It's okay, so it's a literal story mode version of Raging Blast. Remember how in Raging Blast you had the Galaxy mode and you had to do a whole bunch of shit. You could play, every character had a Galaxy mode. Some people's were much shorter, some people's were much longer. Like Goku's was so flipping long. Oh my goodness, to get through Goku's, it was just so long. So, because Goku is the main character, of course, you want to use other people's shits, and it goes through the people's the people that they fought. Like Piccolo, he would have fought maybe like Nappa at the end or something like that. But like you could, okay, I like it. I'm sorry,
like obviously Goku's around the longest, so his is gonna take a while. Now over at number 4, another interesting new mode are these custom battles, which give you the tools to make your own dramatic Dragon Ball throwdowns. It reminds me of the story editor from those old WWE games. You can kind of piece together and edit cutscenes for pre and post battles and special events and conditions that need to be triggered during the fight, add music, change the character's appearance. This seems like there's a pretty decent selection of options here. These scenarios can be shared online, so anyone else can go into this mode and download custom battles from other players, provided they are able to beat the battle themselves to prove that it's not impossible, like a Mario Maker situation. This sounds like a fun idea, and from what they've shown, the event...
Just like how Geometry Dash, you can't beat a level. I mean, you can't post a level unless you beat it, yeah.
Editor allows for some pretty complex rules and scenarios. You're still just building a single battle, and while there are options for subtitles, it looks like you can only use phrases provided by the game. You can't write your own dialogue, which does kind of limit how crazy people can go with this. But still, we're just looking forward to jumping in and seeing what kind of weird stuff people
Look at the combo Goten just did.
But still, we're just looking forward to jumping in and seeing
what like, that's what I'm talking about! That's the creativity I'm talking about, bro. Like, I'm sorry, these new games, they can't do that, bro. That's the creativity I'm talking about. That's the shit that will catch people's eye like, damn, that was fire. Even though Goten probably did that shit in like a movie or something. Or maybe he ain't even do that shit at all. It was just fire. Instead of just making all their combos into one freaking character. That is, I'm sorry, that's just not.
does kind of limit how crazy people can go with this. But still, we're just looking forward to jumping in and seeing kind of weird stuff people more creative than us can come up with. There's going to be some pre-made custom fights you can check out as well. Apparently, just really with the massive roster here, there's so much potential for people to have fun, and we're excited to see what they cook up. Now down at number 3, tournaments have always been a big part of these games, and they're back in Sparking Zero with some twists on the old formula.
Oh my god.
How they do work remains the same.
I wish this game just had movement and flow like Fighter Z, because Fighter Z does have my favorite graphics. That's why I'm so mad when a game like that does not have a roster of just straight niggas, bro. It just makes me mad, because how are you going to have the best graphics and not have a roster of just everyone? Just have everyone, bro. Just have everybody, bro. You can even have this nigga right here. I don't even know what I'm pointing at. I can't even see shit. But yeah.
Fundamentally, you have a character, you enter a bracket, and try to beat everyone else to become number 1. But there are a few different types of tournaments to pick from. There are 6 pre-made tournaments like the World Tournament, where landing on the ground outside the ring counts as a loss, or the Yamcha games, where anything goes and it's just chaos. The rules change every match. The game also lets you make your own tournament with your own rules, which can be played both online and offline. Now, we've already mentioned the unfortunate state of offline play in the game, but it's at least going to support full online play. There's battle mode,
the movement was a bit stiff. It just looked like Fortnite. Like, you see how he moved there? It just looked like I don't know. Again, this game, like, it has to be, like, perfect. Not even just, like, this game can't even, literally the slightest bit of bad details is just not good. This game has been gone for so long, it has to be the best Dragon Ball Z game. It has to be. It has to be. There's no doubt about it.
Which is just your standard online mode and ranked mode for more serious hardcore players. If the game will actually draw the attention of serious pro fighting game players, I don't know, but at least the online options seem alright, if a little basic. Don't expect like complex rollback netcode. The game doesn't have it, probably can't have it, and just because the nature of the gameplay, you know, it's not like
He has a parry.
Regular fighting game. There are too many possible inputs, so rollback doesn't work. At least that's what it seems like, according to speculation online. Now down at number 2, so there's only about 100 fighters available at the start of the game out of the 182 total, which left us wondering, how are you supposed to unlock these guys? Well, it sounds like there's going to be a few ways. According to the developers, some are unlocked by completing episode battles. Some you get from finishing the bonus battles. And others are simply unlocked from the in-game store using Zenny, the currency that's been in these games since the PlayStation 2 days. Zenny isn't just for unlocking new fighters, it's also used for the costumes we mentioned, the accessories.
Oh, we have shapes. Oh, we have shapes. I did not. Damn, they should have showed that from earlier. We have shape. Okay. Something to note. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to. I hope this game is just not trying to erase its competitors right now. Obviously, competitors being like Tekken, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Xenoverse, and Street Fighter 6. I'm pretty sure those are the main 4 competitors. If there are others, let me know. But the main 4 competitors should be those. I hope they're just not trying to desperately attempt to destroy them. And like that's the problem when you're in competition with other people. Don't just add what they have and make it better. How about you just make an entirely different game that's a lot funner and a lot better, and people will just play it as is. I feel like that's just much better. I didn't know that they had shapes. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this game turns out, but I really want this game to just be oh, yeah, did I mention Xenoverse? I don't think I did. Well, yeah, if I didn't, Xenoverse, yeah. Again, that's Xenoverse 3 is going to come out like right after this game. And by right after, I mean I think a year later. I just hope that this game is not trying to desperately take out their competitors. That's it. That's it.
Capsules. That's not the only way you unlock.
Oh my god! I just realized. Oh, look at the outfits. Oh my god, the GT Goku. End of Z, I mean, end of Z. That's so fire. Nah.
Unlock these characters either, though. Depending on the pre-order version you buy, certain characters will automatically unlock too. Not everyone, just certain characters. It's questionable stuff like that that has us concerned about how monetized the game will be, but right now there's no word on possible microtransactions. We just hope that whatever they do, it doesn't end up interfering with the experience. It's one of those things that could end up being totally benign and not that bad, or awful and filled with terrible microtransactions. If it's just some DLC characters, fine, whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. When I'm gonna start playing not Xenoverse, Sparking Zero, I'm gonna have some issues, and the issues has nothing to do with the game itself. It has to do with my monitor. Like, I got so pissed off yesterday trying to play Apex because in my monitor, like, the screen just keeps going black and it just keeps overheating, and dude, that stuff is annoying. That's all I gotta say.
Unlock lots of characters that are already in the game behind a lot of really tedious grinding that they like intentionally made worse to drive people to buy currency, then that's not cool. Bandai has gone kind of either way in the past, but with a big high profile game like this, we're hoping they curtail their worst instincts and just try to deliver the best possible straightforward video game experience.
Facts.
And speaking of that type of stuff, down at number 1, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is releasing worldwide on October 10th, 2024 for PlayStation 10. 5, Xbox Series X, S, and Steam. This will be the first boot.
Everyone gets to play the game tomorrow. Yeah. Everyone gets to play the game tomorrow. Look at the artwork for Ultra Instinct Goku. My god, is that not beautiful? My God, is that not just beautiful? Look at the legs, the shape on him. The shaping, that is the best part about a character, is their shape. What is their shape? That shape is just beautiful. But they said that we get to play the game 3 days earlier if we pre-ordered it. So tomorrow, all the pre-order people, they can play it. Epic Games and Unreal Engine. I knew it. This game looks, I swear, this game looks exactly like Fortnite. Like, the game just looks like Fortnite. Yeah. I'm gonna just have to say this. Sparking Zero. I'm clapping everybody. If that game is not, but before I clap everyone, you know what? I'm going to just let all the bums pre-order the game. The bums can pre-order the game. I don't give a shit.
Budokai
I will let
game
them pre-order
release
it.
on PC, which should be exciting for the mods alone. Even for PlayStation games, the older games in the series are still popular with modders who have done some really hilarious, awesome, cool, crazy stuff with the old game. So we're really expecting them to bring some of that energy to Sparking Zero here. Now, if you pre-order the base game, you get the Dragon Ball Daima Goku for free, along with 6 character early unlocks, which are 3 different forms of 2 characters. These don't cost any extra, you just have to pre-order the game. That's the standard edition. Then there's the deluxe edition, which comes with the season pass that is apparently going to add over 20.
The deluxe edition is below. 3 days early, yeah. Played the 3 up to so tomorrow. You're going to be playing Sparking. Okay.
Playable characters from the superhero movie and the upcoming Daima anime series. All that, and they're doing the early access thing. Get the deluxe edition, you get 3 days early access to kind of beta test the game for everybody else. Well, one other thing, you can also summon Shenron, which is completely unexplained. My only guess is that the game does something like the old games where you can collect the Dragon Balls in-game and do certain things, and then if you get all of them, then you can summon the dragon and get a list of things to wish for, like maybe a bunch of in-game money or...
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, is that the most sexiest Super Saiyan transformation? Damn. Let me listen to what the guy
all
said.
them, then you can summon the dragon and get a list of things to wish for, like maybe a bunch of in-game money or maybe an unlockable character. Maybe it's something like that. We're spitballing, but there's also this ultimate edition, which costs even more. It adds in a cosmetic pack and lets you summon Super Shenron, which I assume is just a better wishes or something. The most important thing is that you get the season pass and 3 days early access.
Let's just keep it like the old games. No pay to win stuff. Pure raw skill, no pay to win. The game is damn near free. And the only thing you need to do is just get good at the game. That's it. How about we focus solely on that? Capiche?
Access for both of those versions. So now it's really up to you how much you're willing to spend, if anything, really. But hey, those are 10 things you need to know about the upcoming Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It seems like a pretty exciting one, so let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear anything you got about the game, any memories playing the originals, any expectations, any hopes, dreams, fears for this one. Let us know. If you like this video and you like talking games with
Well, let's just hope Sparking Zero is like that, okay? From what I'm seeing, this game is definitely it's gonna be good, but let's just hope that it's extra good and not just trying to defeat their competitors.